Alright, hello and welcome to Myst. My previous experience with Myst is... the heck? I have played the original Myst, but it's been 30 years or something. I don't know, it's been a long time. I don't really remember the original Myst other than it being very obtuse. You wander aimlessly around an aisle, and I don't think I ever actually got anywhere. I do know that eventually I found out that you can just, like, immediately beat the game. Like, you can just, like, walk in, pick up the book, and finish the game. So I think I did that at some point, but I don't actually remember what the story or anything about Myst. There's something with the book. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. That's the one with the book, right? That's all I know about Myst. There's some puzzles. I own all the Myst games. I've played Riven. Same experience. Don't remember it. I even played, like, Uru. I don't remember Uru. I think it was Myst 4. Where you, like... It was either 3 or 4, I remember. You, like, start off and you go through, like, a gondola. And I got stuck on the first puzzle, and I don't think I ever finished that one. I do remember being stuck on, the very first puzzle. I don't remember much else. It's been a long time. So, this is my new Myst. This is Myst 2021, I think. Like, 45% sure. Let's begin our Myst 2021 classic. I'm new to Myst. Right. I want to randomize puzzles. I'm not that smart. We in the book.
I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed, but I must admit that such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my Myst book are unsettling to me.
Yeah, I'm holding a book.
I know my apprehensions might never be
Holding
allayed,
Angelic Layer Volume
so
1.
I close, realizing that perhaps the ending has not yet been written.
Press W to move forward. Whoa. My immersion is ruined. 240 FPS. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. I can be anything. I used to play World of Warcraft with some friends, and one of them was convinced that the Reading Rainbow theme gave us all superpowers. So sometimes in Ventrilo or whatever we were using at the time, he would just start, like, blaring the Reading Rainbow theme. Alright, so in the original, you just clicked, and it moved you forward. And this one, you can, like, look around. I actually joked around about... There's actually a, VR version of this. And I was like, hey, let's play this in VR. There's also, I think, for the cursor. How do you guys feel about the cursor being in the middle of the screen like this? It gives it the original Myst feel. It says walk around. Okay, so I have a guide to kind of help us go. Haven't seen this version? This is, I think, 2021 version. Yeah, the original, it was just still images and you clicked around in random. This helps me feel a little bit more immersed. If I was playing in VR, I'd be way more immersed. And also probably throwing up. I wish I was like a huge Myst fan playing this and being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I wish that was me. But alas. Wow, this island's really small. Whoa, whoa. I bet it would have been really cool, actually, honestly, to like see, like, be so used to the original game and just see. I don't know. I'm supposed to, okay, hold on, let's refocus here. Looking for a letter. Also, if I stop randomly for like 10 seconds at a time. So I have been having some allergy issues. And one of the problems I have with my allergies is that they crush my eyeballs. And my left eye is being crushed. And so when it's like really bright like this, it kind of strains it. I'm just like staring at the ground. Don't worry about it. There's all these like switches. I don't know how I feel about this guide. The guide literally says wander around the aisle till you find a letter. It says a letter from, then it gives a name. I just didn't want to spoil it for you guys. Well, sorry, it's not a letter. It's a note on the ground to, and then somebody. I was trying to avoid spoilers. Man, this island is really small. In my brain, I mean, I was just a little kid playing Myst. It makes sense, but also feels weird. Press X to take a picture. Is this to help me? Hold on. Huh. I guess that's to help you with puzzles. Lego Island. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to where we started. I jumped down here. I feel like we should have already found this note. Maybe this, I have a guide for the wrong version or something. What the? Oh, wait. Settings for dimensional imager. 6-7. Water turbulent pool, remember that? Water turbulent pool, 6-7. Yeah. Ah, yes. Selfies. Invented by the Zoomers. of old. Yeah, I think this guide is wrong. Let me find a different guide. Start at the dock. Okay, so this one says, flip all the switches. Man, imagine this but in VR. Anybody in chat have VR? I got VR. I used it to play Beat Saber. Beat Saber was actually one of my most played games last year. And I was kind of surprised about it. I mean, I feel like I played a lot, but I didn't realize I played that much. Virtual Wario Land. That was a good one, too. Tried playing Phasmophobia one time in VR. And, I could not make it inside. Well, I made it inside the house. And then I got to, like, I went to try and go inside the basement. And going down the stairs is really difficult. I, like, had to, like, sit down. And you can't reach the light switch when you're sitting down. So I'm just like, Gran Turismo 7. I bet that would be really fun. I think if VR didn't make me like throw up, I'd play all kinds of things in VR. I want to play World of Warcraft in VR. I hit all the switches. It said there were 7 switches. I probably should have counted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold on. It's from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I can run. Whee! This is the 4 chamber, as it is referenced in the guide. Let's look at the picture on the wall. 404767. I don't think this is the right one. This says enter the number 8. But why would I know the number 8? It's predicted 6, 7. Maybe I'm in the wrong area. No, Claude just memorized all the answers, which won't do him a whole lot of good here in a couple more weeks when I redo all the one questions. I don't actually know how many questions I've had so far. At least 50. Probably more than that. Did some more work this week on it. What is this? Hold on. It says enter the 4 chamber. Is this a 4 chamber? This looks like a time traveler. Dude, one of the guides on Steam is just a link to a billion videos. Alright, this is my problem with Myst. I knew it was gonna happen. Alright, I'm skipping this step, whatever it is. What are these? What the? Who are you?
You must help me. Bring me a red page. I can't see. I need a red page. You must. Please bring me. Beg of you, bring page.
Bring me page. Is that a person?
I am serious.
Serious.
Given up long ago. There's one thing I need to be rescued. You must.
Alright, done with that guy. Whoa.
Serious? Is that you? A seal? He was looking up. They kept me. Bring me pages.
Blue pages. I don't like this guy.
Forever and ever.
I don't like either of these guys.
Pages.
Blue pages, please. Please, I need blue pages.
Have blue pages.
Me when hungry.
To me.
Bring me the green M&Ms. He did say please, true. What is this? Whoops. I have called this age... I have called this age Channelwood in a very different world. Though it is exactly how... Wait. Though it is exactly how I imagined it. It is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere there are only trees, which go directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passages are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I'm eager to discover more about this and its people, but I have arrived here late, and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one of which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I do not feel threatened by their presence. The response to me was one that I would have never expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colors. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautiful clear. I was so intrigued by the water, I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water. It can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower pass to the village level, approximately halfway up the grand trees. It was very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. Man, I cannot read cursive very well. I was really hoping they had like a fine print version. Where's the Times New Roman version? At sunset, they mentioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor in a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human. At least to some extent, he appears human. His hair, which was only his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise! This creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He's adopted so much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he had told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly. Some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day, things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans that lived through the catastrophe moved into the trees, where they gradually died out. Maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I am not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me. Although many details are very unclear in my mind, I am especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there. And the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if they were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hand tightly, murmuring something about rest and asleep. Then he said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally, he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto the lower level of walkway and carried away. He was laying down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As the strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to even believe the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts color. As I wandered throughout the pathways, the creatures watched me, curious to see what I'd do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. They even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn the language soon so that I may learn more from them. I've lived in this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I'm even beginning to learn bits of their language. I've decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I'm sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to see how Sirius and Archner, I forgot their names. They said them earlier, will react to their curious inhabitants. Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I've no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian age. Sirius has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. Hospitality to these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I consent to their request. That's what it says. I cannot read cursive very well. I will consent to their request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect for the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Prawn and her people are continuing to be menacing by the Chaotic. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Sirius and Archner here. See Everdross Journal for more information. After watching Sirius and Archner, I see they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them and Channelwood again. And for a little longer time. Wait, what? And for a little longer time. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I am leaving, but are happy that Sirius and Archner are staying behind again. I have been gone for over 3 days and have been to many different places. I had to tell Sirius and Archner about Prawn's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her for their childhood. Catherine has suggested that it would be wise for Sirius and Archner to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I have told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spend the entire night telling me off of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. Seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures, and am reminded of my own adventures as a child. Finally understood why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I've shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also asked if they can visit some other ages alone. Though we'll have to think over their request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready for travel alone. But now I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. The Future Bridge. Part 2. Emmett was the first to live on the rocks. He named them the rocks because that is what they were, a group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of a large sea. This is where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim to nearby rocks. It was never too far of a distance. One day, another person appeared on the rocks for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Branch. Emmett and Branch quickly became friends, swimming and hunting for fish together often. Emmett showed Branch the simple cave in which he lived on the largest rock. Soon Branch discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun always shone brightly in their world, and the water was always dazzling clear, allowing them to see almost to the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Though the sun always shone, it was never too hot for the boys. A light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day, while Branch was swimming and having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Branch brought the new boy to Emmett to find out what to call the new boy. Emmett said the boy should be called Will. Will was soon a part of the group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least, that is the story I was told when I arrived today on the island. Emmett, Branch, and Will were surprised to see me at first, but even before the night ended, they were all becoming good friends. Today, the second day on this newly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under a large tree on one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for about an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that the rain was not harmful, yet they obviously still feared it. Before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day. Told them that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change to their world. They didn't understand, not that I expect them to. Need some warm tea. I still do not fully understand what happened today. I was experimenting with the art, testing the limits of the rules as it's dictated to me by Father. I attempted to create a boat by writing it into the world. I thought everything was planned correctly, yet somehow the boat had become gripped by the rock and broken in half. Although this test did not turn out as I had hoped, I now have answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can see the boys enjoying it anyway, and with that I am pleased. They have played on it all day. Even though the boat cannot move, I enjoyed studying from it. It is much sturdier platform than the jagged rocks. In the course of my observations, I have learned some very interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. The nights are absolutely beautiful here. I have made note of and named a number of constellations that pass above me. Also during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon which I have not been able to discover if it is created by some natural phenomenon or additional people on far-off islands or rocks. I should very much like to discover which. I rather suspect it is additional people, which would explain the appearance of Branch and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened of the heavier rain, not to mention the thunder and lightning. Rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys tell me. I would like to discover why it is falling now. Regardless, I have decided to return home for a short while. I've also been thinking of some plans for a lighthouse that I hope to construct soon. I think that perhaps by shining a bright light toward the horizon might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. They would be curious about the light and travel to discover its source, if they have the means. I returned with many tools that I will need for construction of the lighthouse. I've decided that once the lighthouse is completed, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We have worked 3 weeks on the lighthouse now and are making great progress. The rock that we were building on seems to not be as secure as I would like. I have to alter my plans slightly, but those alternatives pose no real problem. The boys are quite strong and have been helping me immensely. I estimate construction will be done within 2 days. The lighthouse is finished, and we are all proud of our creation. The boys are amazed at the structure wrought from rock with their own hands. That evening, we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and shined a great light to the horizon for many hours. I stayed the night on the top of the lighthouse, and in the morning woke to observe the sunrise without my being coated with the chilly blanket of ocean drew I had become accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not far from the boat, where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Then Will noticed a man not far away from the girl. Emmett was very pleased to meet the additional neighbors. I feel pleased to leave this age. I've set in motion events that have nothing to do with writing or the art, that will have a more profound impact on this world than I could have ever written. I think. The Stone Ship Age. I think of this age as a gift to myself, that I will wrap up and open someday in the future, only to discover that it has changed so much that indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I have yet another new age that awaits me. It seems I'm going to need some way to travel underwater in this new age, and so much planning is in order. It has been 10 years since I left this age, which I have since called the Stone Ship Age. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults. There are many new faces that I do not recognize. Branch told me that it has not rained for 7 years and the cool breeze are back again. They are all very content and have been serving me with new foods and showing me new materials they have discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in many forms around the island. My lighthouse has been kept in perfect condition, and it looks as if they have tried their very best to keep it so. Yet I have noted that the entire rock it was built on has sunk approximately 40 or 50 centimeters. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wonder aloud with them what things will be like here in another 10 years. These are all very important. I'm going to need to remember all of this. I'm not going to remember any of this. Alright, you guys ready for this? We still got 3 more books. Time to get out my paper and pencil. Mini books, yes. Just like the old days of me doing Choose Your Own Adventure books. I used to read Choose Your Own Adventure books every, like, Thursday or something. We had like a whole system for choosing our adventure. Let me stretch for 2 seconds before I continue reading here. Get some water. Lay on the couch. It has been a while since I've heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly, I think. For some reason, I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world in which I have arrived. But how could I be unwelcome in an age with no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I have yet to even write in a journal that an age I have linked to is horrid or disgusting. From the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below, along with a few scattered forests. A rather large lake looms some distance from where I am standing, yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. The air is fresh, and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It is absolutely breathtaking, and yet, that strange feeling again. Perhaps it is the hot breeze that continues to blow from the north, harder than I would have imagined. It almost singes my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes. I will try to ignore it. You know what this is really missing? This is really missing. Night has almost arrived and the sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds have settled above the western horizon. Though night has come, the horizon still glows red along past the sunset. Dark red flow from the horizon and blend it. No, I'm just kidding. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blend into the black sky. Again, the feeling, and I am beginning to believe it is not all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I have had to return home due to unpredictable natural occurrence, more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky, and I immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a Myst linking book with me when I return, in case the one left there has been destroyed or damaged. Sorry you missed the Rule of Rose question. I've returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It has been transformed into barren desert land, with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently the falling meteors do not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of this horrible desolation. The hot wind I remember has turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw on my first visit is now completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to its circular shape and the jutting rock that grows out of the center of the lake. The rest of this world seems like desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears. Sounds constantly flow through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by horrible hissing. I was sweating, and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head in a nearby stream to cool it down. The hot breezes had returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flames shooting up from the earth. Suddenly the ground began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the tumult subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I've decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. Sorry, reading is getting exhausting. My inflamed sinuses. There's 6 books here, and like 7 ages, I think. 1 age for each lever that I flipped. Maybe there's 8 books, and we are on the 8th book. This whole stream is gonna be lore reading, yeah. Even as the chasm is ripped, well, like I said, I think all these books are linked to the areas that we're going to after we finish reading all of them. So I'm going to read all of them, even though normally I wouldn't, because it seems important. It actually feels important for once. Even as the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world, it has opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that had been created, and I have now explored deep into the crust of this planet. I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I'll also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. The stage seems to change on its own, so I feel I should leave again to see if things are different from when I return. It is also important that I check on Sirius and Archner and make sure everything is going along well. When I return, I also hope to bring back some tools I will need for my plans to explore the underground. I feel like the previous book was actually written by either Sirius and Archner. I feel like the previous book was written by one of those two. This one's written by the father. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I've returned to some of the complex tools I knew I would be needing. He found a shovel. I assumed I would have to return for more basic materials, however. It seems as though I will be able to find everything I need here. Of course, iron is abundant, but I've also found titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin work. Everything is set, and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I will be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I so love working with my hands, whether writing or building. Well, and I've decided 3 meters is not enough support for the beams, although amazingly true. Hey, I've seen this on the island. Prized inventions. Completely fatigued. I am leaving today in order to bring back Sirius and Archner. I have left them alone in Channelwood. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. The age seems to have stabilized. I believe the meteor set off a period of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust, but the tremors have become few. I've just noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. Fortunately, I have copied many of my instruction notes and another journal. I don't understand the many mysteries of this world, but I trust I will discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age, which I hope to travel soon. But for now, I must simply accept this world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments. Puzzle. Age. Book. Ooh. Oops. Okay, 2 books remain. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures, and it was. The sky here is dark and gray, and insistently displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He's very feeble and has trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me, there's a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. Yo, dead or alive? Question. Who's high for dead or alive 7? Or 6? What number are they on? Years ago, he told me, there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and the people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills, which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. People had no means of traveling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for a friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. People grew fearful, yet nothing happened. One day, the usually sunny sky became as dark as night. Black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout's post attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries there were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep in the ocean, and only the lookout post remained. The black ships sailed away. The man continued to say that 8 people had hidden and managed to survive through the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. He also said that it was rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago. I've decided, since hearing the man's story, it would be admirable to save this civilization and stop this enemy's plan of destruction. I'm excited about the adventure that awaits me, and an idea has sparked in my mind to provide the needed defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today, and I've begun work on a plan for protection. After a short absence, I have returned to this age with my 2 sons. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me, and they are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it is already obvious to me that they will be a great help this time, so the nuisance they have been in the past. All 3 of us, along with 4 of the healthier survivors, began construction today. We are building upon the old city's ruins, which will provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I'm very pleased with their intelligence, and their creativity is refreshing to see, as they work on some small projects of their own. It has been over 4 months now, and construction is going well. My sons love the world except for its gray sky. They detest the gray sky and tell me many times they wish the sky here were like the blue sky in Myst. Yo, title drop? The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months. I feel we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways, and I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. It has been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. The rest between the 3 hills, which are now only islands due to rising water level that the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress, I have designed a most intriguing device. It makes use of technology called holography. I began experimenting with on my own visits to Aspermere. It will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. The holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. The enemy is due to come soon. I trust the fortress will provide sufficient protection for all of us. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. Their weapons have been stopped, and it seems they have turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched the boats leave. Last night we had a small celebration, and the old survivors danced their dances of old. My sons did not understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons that a blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me. I've had a healthy adventure and have begun work on a new book. Once again I must leave. A familiar age in search of new universe I had begun. But first I will have an extended time with Catherine, whom I miss very much. I must also return to the people of the tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments that they have long endured. I hope to return to the mechanical age one day and find the population growing and my fortress still strong. Though the sky may always be black, I am confident the people here feel a heavier darkness has been lifted from their shoulders. I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her very much. Short book. Uh-huh. I can't read. This puzzle is... Anybody notice anything, blank filled, blank, blank filled, blank, blank, blank filled, blank, blank filled, blank filled, blank, blank filled. This is like the Where's Waldo book. Not Waldo, 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 not Waldo. Not Waldo, not Waldo, not Waldo. Kane. Not Waldo, not Waldo, not Waldo. How many pages are there? Man, am I glad these puzzles aren't randomized. It's true. How many pages is this? Y'all notice any missing pages? Is this the King's Quest manual? You sure played it. Oh, 300 pages. That's it. Alright, that was my favorite book out of the 6 books here. Okay. Look at the map. This doesn't rotate like it should. Mm-hmm. Boom, boom, boom. All right, here we go. Key 240 221. Hope we find 6 more books. Is this near? Which one? Whoa. They meant this. No, I think they're just reassuring fans so that when they announce Drakengard 4, people aren't just like, where's Nier 2? Where's Automata 2? Like we already made an announcement. Calm down, guys. Alright, I have to make it 240. come you guys didn't make an Automata 2? What's Drakengard? Okay. Alright, there are 3 levers. Look, all I'm saying is Automata got an anime. When is Drakengard for? Kotaro coming to your house to apologize. Why sup on broth of bean? Oh. 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 There was a hidden mechanic. Oh. Alright, I got this. Got it. Now what do I do? There's a lot of spooky noises being made right now. How do you, like, save? I'm going in. Final Fantasy Tactics. Dang, why didn't it zoom in on the picture? Whoa. This was the fortress. There's blue skies now. This was the fortress, I think. To defend against the... Ew. What are they doing in here? Rotation simulator. What is this? Ah! That's how I died. Old snake in a box. Isn't this like, serious or something? This is like a real life. This is a picture of a real person. Developer. Is there a picture on this side? Is this one of those, like, spot the difference rooms? Hmm. Both the guys I'm looking at mentioned that there's a page in here. am I not seeing? It says face the throne. Open the door behind the throne. You know what? I have like 6 guides open and they all say the same thing. I don't know which one is for what. Exactly, Claude. Try searching for real Myst. Okay. Oh, here we go. Just needed to spam the button until it opened. Blue page. Man, what? So this was the mechanical age? I found a guy that had like pictures that looked like this. Red page. Music reminds me of GoldenEye. Sirius, your greed sickens me. Your desire for wealth and plunder is never satisfied. I will instruct my subjects not to pay your new tax. And you know they'll listen to me. This is Sirius's room. The other one is Arachnor's, whatever his name is, Archnor's room. Which one's the worst kid? They both disgust me. Note the time on the clock. Alright, remember this, 3:02. Where I started. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I found a different guide that's got slightly different order of operations. And doesn't do this one until later. So we're gonna go back. We're not going back. I guess we gotta finish this one. Alright, then we're going back this way. We'll come back to doing things in the other order. What an interesting room. Where are we at? I'll write this down. Wait. Circle with 3 lines and half circle. Bum, 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 bum. Anybody else scared of this game?
Sharia, listen. Everyone thinks we
Oh,
should
what?
leave through the butt. Let's search for the butt, Sharia. It's the only way.
Hello at everyone, and welcome to Myst. Speaking of scary, how's it going, Momo? How was Scary Fatal Frame? I've never played this before. It's been a bit of a journey. Learning. Thank you again for the raid. Hope you're streaming well. Bum 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 bum. Anyways, I was saying, this game is kind of scary. Like, not gonna lie. Nothing happens, but it's all just like empty space. There's nobody else here. It's got this weird ambience, yeah. I didn't really ever get into this series, but I bought all the games for whatever reason. I still have on CD, like Myst 2 or Riven or whatever, and then Myst 3 and Uru and stuff. I don't know if you can even still play Uru. I'm sure. There's probably some way to play it now. Somebody's probably patched something. We had, whenever I would go visit my dad and stepmom, we had whoa. We had King's Quest 6. That was the only game that she had on her computer. Single server. See ya. Yeah, I was gonna say Uru was like online Myst. Wouldn't be surprised about private servers. Lol. See. I always wanted to get into this series. I just never did. Like I said, I bought all of them. I had the intent to get into them. I just never did. Oh, Myst had a soundtrack. It's kind of creepy. I don't know if I said hello to everyone, but hello everyone, at everyone. Welcome to Saturday. We play adventure games. We just finished the Telltale series, The Walking Dead. Now we were playing Myst. My favorite thing to do is add everyone. Good morning, add everyone. To maintain a bit of a flow, I do have a guide pulled up. But I don't know how helpful that it will be. I already did this. This was always one of those games that just seemed very obtuse entirely in terms of what you were supposed to be doing at all times. So I have something to at least keep the flow going. Keep me from just wandering aimlessly and clicking on everything randomly. Like, is this a puzzle? Is this a puzzle? Is this a puzzle? Professor Layton, is this a puzzle? It always felt, like there's no direction. I don't know why I'm doing any of this, but I am. Exhaust sound. Spin sound. Wait. Mouth is cowbell sound. Ew. Got how I see. How do I see notebook? Circle that thing. These things. Okay. Alright, we're back here. There we go. Elevator go up. Seven, 2, 4. This way. Seven, 2, 4. This doesn't rotate how it should with the mouse. Ew. Alright, which age was this? With the tree? Oh, it's going up. Wait a minute. I missed. What's the title of the game? I'm not gonna make it. I made it. Getting out of a tree. What I learned from Mystic Quest. Now we wait. Going down? Going down. Is it stuck? My tree is stuck. How about now? How about no? Broke the tree. Oh, here we go. Tree unbroke. Going in. Did y'all go in this tree? You could just be trapped here like this. I don't know where the tree goes. Yeah, this tree is scary. I'm not going in there. Whoa! Is this the one where all the people lived in the trees? I guess. They worshipped the guy. Are we in a bog? This reminds me of Dreamfall. This looks awful. Frog? We got frogs, we got frogs, everybody's got frogs. Oh. I missed that guy. Pipe water flowing. Pipe water flowing. Flowing. Okay. I have some subtitle thing turned on. That's probably what this is. It's very helpful because it lets me know which way the water's flowing, you know. It says to take it to an elevator. Let me find out where the elevator is. An elevator. Here's an elevator. Okay. Why is the pipe water not flowing this way? There we go. Let us save. And the channel would. These are some dwellings, all right. What sort of facility was this? Bathroom, maybe? Big fan of jungle houses. Tried to build a jungle house, I think, in the forest once, and back in Kelvin kept chopping my tree down. What was this place? I'm terrified of heights. I would never live here. I'd live in the bog. I'd be the bog man. They would refer to me as bog guy. Ah, yes. You wish to speak to the bog man. You'll have to travel to the surface. Into the bog. I don't see any puzzles or anything. some houses. It says eventually there's a lever. You get drunk. See, I wouldn't get drunk, I would just fall off. Which is why I would just live in the bog. I'd be the guy that steps through the floor and falls into the bog. Is this where we started? No, we started right there. There's a lever. Eventually ye shall find a lever. So we started here. No, we started there. Lever. Huh? Oh, I think a door opened. Stuck. Oh yeah, stairs. Okay. And throw up. Blech. Okay. Boys left first. Go team left. This is probably Sirius's room. Uh-huh. This guy loved collecting treasures. Vault accessed. Island of Myst. Very plain view of Myst. Access can be simple. Locate the switches. Go to the dock. What is this? Is that a knife? Like some cheese? Okay. Oh, jeez. That's what those guys and Men in Black say when the guy asks him for coffee. Cheese being the same color as the plate. Some chameleon cheese. What is this? Blue guy is into like some stuff. It's probably just a cheese cutter. Man, that guy's into some things. What a bedroom. Yeah, what is this guy? He is into some stuff. Do I have any puzzles I can think of? Doom. 6, 7. Nope.
I hope I pushed the right button, my dear brother. What a very interesting device you have here. I'm not erasing anything important, am I?
No, my episodes of Pokemon.
Remember, he is preparing. Take only one page, my dear brother.
Take only one page. Man. Both brothers are pretty weird, but I'm more weirded out by the cheese grater brother. This one.
I hope I pushed the right button, my dear brother. What a very interesting device you have here. I'm not erasing anything important, am I? Remember, he is preparing. Take only one page, my dear brother.
What? See, we went over there. And there was this here. That's a dead end. This is a dead end. That's actually where we started. And this is lever. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The return button. Well, hello. Whoa. You find these books, but I don't know for what purpose. Okay. I got all these memorized. That's wait, is that today? That is today. All right, here we go. What'd you say, October? October 11th. Wait, isn't this just the day the Lorian? Now what? All right, what did that do? Mm-hmm. Let's consult a stone ship book in the library. I think we got Flamingo. I already forgot. Go here. That one. Oh my god. Save right here. Whoa! Whoa! Was this... There was a story of the rocks? With Will and... Elliot? I forgot everybody's name. I don't remember Will. Hmm. Water. Door? Fake door. Nostalgic for the treetops from 10 minutes ago. Ooh, haunting ground question. And B is AFK and or sleep. Can't believe we got no haunting ground fans in chat at the moment. Shaking my head. Who would ever know a haunting ground answer? Do this in my stream of haunting ground. Huey. Close. Wait, do I gotta press the button? I gotta wait it out. Oh. There was like a key or something here. there's a key right here. $35. Okay. Reminds me of changing gears in RV there yet? Any RV there yet, fans in chat? They got a new map coming out. I unlocked to get another key that's needed for another lock. What? Wait. Oh yeah. What did I do? Start that baby up. Man, I would not go down here either. Whoa. I think this is a different island than I thought it was. Oops. Oh god. What did I do? 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 Oh god. Hold on. The god is like, save right here. I'm like, oh god. What have I done? Just so you can save and load if you get it wrong. Instead of having to run all the way back here. Alright, so the goal here is to line it up with the thing upstairs, which was 35. New game is not save game. Alright, so what we want to do... Southeast. Which way is north? Wait, that's north. So southeast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The red one. Maybe we did. Oh, got him. Blinded. Dude, this looks like Sirius's rim. And this guy sure does love his treasures. Sure. This looks like the rug. What in the heck is with this guy? Okay, the vault is located. It's the aisle. Turn one of the on. That's gone too far. Some protractors and stuff here. I don't generally like tiled floors or whatever, but if it's going to be tiled, like it has to be tiled for some reason, I definitely prefer the like checkerboard, like white and black look. Whoa! Whoa! Bam, 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 bam. Alright, all we got left is the spaceship. $59, y'all got that? No, Redison, no. Quite sure I understand where this one is. Lost from the cabin.
Toot my own horn, but...
Oh, thank you, Regison, and welcome back to the Crunchy Crew. Thank you for the pun. All right. Months. Can't believe I've only known Regison for 40 months and no longer than that. Excited for Fatal Frame 4. Let's see. Megalovania. Yo, Grats. Dude, 99 points. Whoa. Whoa. All right, so this is the last age. So we're just gonna finish this out. I also have to pee like super bad. Super duper bad. I'll be back very quickly. I'm back. I had to stop and pet my cat. Yeah, there was only like 4 points on the map that we could even do. It's a very small island. Yeah, we're almost done. I assume we're almost done. There's only, the guide only lists this area. Whoa. This made me think of, for some reason, of Edith Finch. Well, remember Edith Finch? I don't know why this made me think of that. That one area where she's like walking around on the beach. Dude, this place looks crazy. Water running. Water. Water and water and water, water and water and water, water and water and water, water and water and water. Broken clock. Whoa. Ethereal crystal sound. This is the Elsa Grace's crystal from trivia. Glabadal, Galvadal, Valkyrie. Wind blowing. Whoa. Oh, those are bats. Whoa. Bats are really cute. Should have played this in VR. Whoa. I missed whatever this one is. $4 million damage. Yeah, and then where's this one? There's no like heat sound effect. Need the heat sound effect. Lava rumbling. Apparently almost to the most infamous puzzle in all of Myst. The entire history of Myst. Infamous. Um... Alright, here we go. Infamous puzzle. Okay, none of this makes sense. But it says the subtitles I have turned on will help. What in the heck? Is this that Markiplier game? movie game. Iron lung. Spin. This is from one of the other ages. If you remember when we were in mechanical age. North. Hopefully you guys wrote down the directions from the mechanical age. Exhaust. I wrote them down right here. Got them on my note card. East. Cowbell. South. N is west. Imagine this, but in VR. Cowbell spin. Southwest. Wrong direction. I would not survive. Spin. West. And clink. Northwest. I gotta wonder how long does this go on. Hold on, my cat is here. He wants to sit in my lap. How much further underground must we go? Clink exhaust. Northeast. That's west. We must keep digging. North. I understand why this is infamous. Two reasons. One, didn't really have subtitles originally. Two, it goes on forever. Lost Cowbell. Southeast. That is purring so loud. Ooh, is this the end? It's over. Are we out of the iron lung? Oh my god. Is this what the, wait, was this the resource planet? Or book or whatever? Whoa. Were you talking about how there was like resources in abundance everywhere? Whoa. Okay, hold up. So, I don't understand this one. You guys have been keeping track of everything going on, right? So here's the fireplace. Which one of these is the fireplace? Have we done anything that would help lead us to a conclusion on which page has the solution? Anybody? I don't understand how you get to this solution, which is on page 158. How would you get to this? Hmm. Um. Found it. All right, here we go. So we got I do not understand how we get to this point. True. But how would you figure this out normally? I don't mind using a guide, but I do like to know why certain, like how you would normally reach certain conclusions. Buy the guide at your local KB Toys. Ooh, okay. Corner's looking. Oh, yeah? Alright.
Who the devil are you? Don't come here to Dunny, not yet. Oh, I have many questions for you, my friend, as you no doubt have for me. Where should I begin? Perhaps my story is in order. My name is Atris. I fear you met my sons, Cirrus and Achenar, in the red and blue books on Myst Island in my library. My library. Oh, it contains my works, my writings. I wrote many books that linked me to fantastic places. It's an art I learned from my father many years ago. Oh, but the red and blue books, those were different. I wrote those books to entrap over-greedy explorers that might stumble upon my island of Myst. But I had no idea my own sons would be entrapped. My sons, Cirrus and Achenar. We had many journeys together. I gave them free rein to the books. Perhaps it was not wise. I could see the greed growing in them. I had not told them about the red and blue books. Their imaginations went wild. They dreamed of riches and power. Of course, they did not know the books were traps. They begged for access to those books, and of course I denied them. Oh, they devised a plan. An evil plan. And I had no idea to what extent their greed had progressed. Their own mother. They used their own mother. Oh, my dear Catherine.
Wow.
To lure me here to Dunny. Of course, I could return to Myst, except they removed a single page from my Myst linking book. I cannot return without that page. You, my friend, can bring that page to me. Oh, I pray you believe my story above the lies that my sons have told you. If you could find it in yourself to return that page to me here in Dunny, I could go to Myst and bring justice to my sons for what they've done. I must return to my writing. I pray that you believe me. Please hurry. Bring the page. Bring the page with you.
All right. We have a whole lot of options here. First option, go inside the book. Just jump right in. Life is full of many doors, Ed, my boy. And all of them are closed.
Ah, my friend, you've returned. We meet face to face. And the page, did you bring the page? You didn't bring the page. You didn't bring the page.
What page?
What kind of fool are you? Did you not take my warning seriously? Welcome to Dunny. You and I will live here forever.
Trapped forever. The end. Alternately, we go find the page. Which we could have gotten... Yeah, trapped forever. Which we could have gotten immediately. Alright. Get me out of here. How do I get out of here? Trapped in the bookshelf.
Who the devil are you? Don't come here to Dunny, not yet. Oh, I have many questions for you, my friend, as you no doubt have for me. Where should I begin? Perhaps my story is in order. My name is Atris. I fear you met my sons, Cirrus and Achenar, in the red and blue books on Myst Island in my library. My library. Oh, it contains my works, my writings.
Myst Island.
I wrote many books that link me to fantastic places. It's an art I learned from my father many years ago. Oh, but the red and blue books, those were different. I wrote those books to entrap over-greedy explorers that might stumble upon my island of Myst. But I had no idea my own sons would be entrapped. My sons, Cirrus and Achenar. We had many journeys together. I gave them free rein to the books. Perhaps it was not wise. I could see the greed growing in them. I had not told them about the red and blue books. Their imaginations went wild. They dreamed of riches and power. Of course, they did not know the books were traps. They begged for access to those books, and of course I denied them. Oh, they devised a plan. An evil plan. I had no idea to what extent their greed had progressed. Their own mother. They used their own mother. Oh, my dear Catherine, to lure me here to Dunny. Of course, I could return to Myst, except they removed a single page from my Myst linking book. I cannot return without that page. You, my friend, can bring that page to me. Oh, I pray you believe my story above the lies that my sons have told you. If you could find it in yourself to return that page to me here in Dunny, I could go to Myst and bring justice to my sons for what they've done. I must return to my writing. I pray that you believe me. Please hurry. Bring the page. Bring the page with you.
Okay. How do I get out of this room?
Oh, have you found the missing page? Oh, come. Come on, then.
How do I leave the room? There's definitely a way out of here. Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh god. I got too close. Rock marker. Oh, I found it. We never went in here. What was in here? We never did this. What was all this? What? Oh, I did that off center. I brought the page.
Oh, have you found the missing page? Oh, come. Oh, have you found the missing page?
Dead. Alright, is he gonna get pissed again?
Ah, my friend, you've returned. And the page. Did you bring the page?
Whoa.
done the right thing. I have a difficult choice to make. My sons have betrayed me. I know what I must do. I shall return shortly.
Am I trapped in Myst? Not, didn't he? Is this supposed to be immersive?
It is done. I have many questions for you, my friend, but my writing cannot wait. I fear that my long delay may have already had a catastrophic impact on the world in which my wife, Catherine, is now being held hostage. Oh, and a reward. I'm sorry, but all I have to offer you is the library on the island of Myst and the books that are contained there. Feel free to explore at your leisure. I hope you find your exploration satisfying. You'll no longer have my sons to deal with. Oh, and one more thing. I'm fighting a foe much greater than my sons could ever imagine. At some point in the future, I may find it necessary to request your assistance. Until that point, I'm afraid you'll enjoy the explorations from my library on Myst. Thank you. The book. You can use the Myst linking book to return to Myst.
Oh. I assume he's writing Riven. My friend, now that you have seen the destruction wrought by Sirius and Argoner, you now have a very specific idea of who they were. Greedy, envious, hateful men. There's one more page to turn. One last age, where I hope you might see them as I did. As my sons. Rhyme. Rhyme. Books, yes. Rhyme, I have named it. Desolate age of a beauty that is quite different than I had expected or imagined. Intricate feathers of ice that fall from the sky are awe-inspiring. Feel as though I could sit and watch them for hours. And though it is cold here, like I have never experienced before, I find myself enjoying the change of temperature, for it is unlike any other place that I have ever seen. Perhaps the oddest thing is the silence. Although the wind blows on occasion, when it ceases, there's the suffocating silence that falls in this place, broken only by the distant cries of unseen creatures. I have visited 3 times, and am sure now that this age will provide the environment I need. I believe the cold temperature is crucial for obtaining the necessary refraction of light. Examining the structure of the books is ever more perplexing, but I am driven onward by my need to understand. The great tree of possibilities can never be fully grasped, but I must at least try to find one particular branch. Of course, the chance of using a blank linking book to find one specific age amongst the infinite variations that must exist is infinitesimal, like searching for a specific grain of sand on the beach. The only workable solution is to focus the connection of a damaged, unusable linking book. Perhaps I can bridge this much smaller gap. On the subject of enlightenment, I would also like to find the cause of the mysterious lights that shine in the darkness here. Though I never assumed that I would be able to build especially fast here, the speed at which I am progressing is somewhat disappointing. I do think I will bring Sirius and Arachnor as well as some of the machinery from the I have no choice to chose to stay with Catherine. While Sirius was unhappy about the prospect of exploring a new age without his brother, he was still excited to come. He spent the last few days here with me, helping me with the beginning phases of construction. He too seems to enjoy the ice and cold weather. He is intrigued with the crystals that we have brought with us. He has been a big help, as have others, and I hope to be able to begin my experiments here soon. Tonight Sirius and I found a wondrous spot to view the lights, although it seems they decided to hide from us. After sitting in the cold winds for over 2 hours, we saw nothing. It was rather disappointing. Sirius will return to Myst tomorrow. He has been a tremendous aid to me, and I'm thankful for his willingness to help. He is excited to tell Arachnor about his adventures, and it's clear to me how much he has missed his brother's company. The hard part of the construction is over, although I have decided after tonight that I would like to add some kind of observation post. I won't be finished as soon as I had hoped, although I am fairly certain it will be worth the delay in the long run. I've decided to take a break from the construction now that the tunnel is almost complete. I'm quite convinced that with the right refraction, certain properties of the ink can be simulated. When I try to explain my theory to Catherine, she laughs and tells me I'm trying to hold infinity in a bottle. She laughs and I laugh. Maybe she's right, but I must try regardless. Came too close to success on Evan Dunes. Besides, of all that comes from this effort is time spent with my sons, it would have been worthwhile. I'm very certain now that the temperature indeed does have an effect on the refractor properties of the crystals, but I've realized that temperature alone is not enough. Each crystal responds differently to the lower temperatures, and controlling the particulars is proving challenging. Perhaps focusing on another, more obtainable goal in the short term will help. I shall finish the shaft to my observation post while I have the machinery here, perhaps tomorrow morning. The lights were beautiful again last night. They had not shown themselves for so long that I had almost forgotten their beauty. I still must find the cause. I am feeling rather overwhelmed with what remains to be done. I've made no progress on the crystals. The shaft is not finished, nor the observation post, or even the lab. I have not seen Catherine for some time, and I long to spend more time with Aknar and Sirius. Besides all of that, there are far away, in the back of my mind, the thoughts of my people and our lost city. I dreamed again of them last night. I have seen the city in its worst condition, and still, its beauty overwhelmed me. Even now, as I visualize how majestic it must have been before the destruction caused by these two guys, it amazes me and saddens me. I'm certain that Denai is not dead, as my father believed. I'm convinced that there must be some who managed to escape the destruction and even now continue to survive in separate ages. Within me is an urging to take the chance to return to Denai to find those survivors and properly rebuild our city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. If my plan failed, if I missed a single book when attempting to trap him on Riven, then he has been free all along. If that is true, then all that stands between him and the ages I have now written is the link from Denai to Myst. As much as I wish to return to Denai, without knowing the fate of my father, I cannot risk re-establishing that link. I must preserve my father without re-establishing that link. It has been several years, and there have been many dead ends, but the solution is out there somewhere. I know it. At least I hope. Catherine will have her ideas about all of these things, and I miss her greatly. I'll return to Rhyme later, when my mind is cleared. 2735. That's it. Huh. Riven. What did that say? 25 something? 2735. The guide mentions nothing about this. But once again, we haven't done anything here. You're taking a picture. Two 735. Horn. Found it. Alright. Blomp, 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 blomp. This was not in the original game. This was added as a connection between Myst and Riven. And that's why I'm having problems finding how to get there. See the, shape here? Rhyme. Whoa! New stage. The stage actually looks really long. Like a whole nother game, like a whole DLC. I may, wait until next week. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be like 2 seconds. No, this guide goes on for a while. And you end up going back to the other ages. That's a very powerful load. Yeah, you end up going back to the other ages and all this other stuff. Rhyme. I think I will wait for another day. Do all of Rhyme. Supposedly this is linking between Myst and Riven. I have no intentions at this point of playing Riven. As it randomly shows up in my inventory. But it has been intriguing so far. I never really knew much about Myst. I always wanted to get into it. Like I said, I had gotten all the games, like the 1993 versions or whatever. 1998, the Windows 98 versions of these games. But they have no, like... They had no real... I mean, it was like Nancy Drew. You're just wandering around solving random puzzles with no, like, real feeling of anything overarching or going on. I assume the actual books, like IRL books, probably add a lot of context and add a bit more to it. But even just reading the books in the library, it was kind of it was kind of whatever, I guess. There was not much going on. But for a game from 1993, I see why people were very captivated by it. And as it's gone on over the years, I'm sure some of the other Myst is other stuff. Based on a book, I don't know the answer to that. What if one's based on the other, but there are actual books, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, context puzzles and atmosphere. Like I said, from a 1993 perspective, I definitely understand why people were into it. I mean, there was some story, and I am definitely curious, like, what happened with the guy's wife and father and stuff. But not enough to do anything about it. Villain vibe. Yeah, like I said, it reminded me of Nancy Drew. Where there was probably something else going on, but it's mostly just wandering around aimlessly and solving puzzles at random. I like this version more than, say, like how the original or Nancy Drew is, because Nancy Drew, and the original, you're just clicking around at random. So I liked the fact it was easier to get into by having an actual like 3D atmosphere and running around and stuff. But anyways, that's gonna be it for